Do you wish that we could discuss politics rationally with family members and friends? Why are we so offended when someone in the opposite party makes a political statement? In addition to publishing videos on reengineering politics, I am a core energy business coach. The Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, or iPEC, developed the core energy coaching system. This video will introduce you to the idea of core energy and explain how applying many of the core energy ideas to our political discourse may help us discuss and resolve our political challenges. My name is Jeff Schuster, and you're watching Reengineering Politics, which provides objective information on political matters so that you can make informed decisions for a better America. This YouTube channel is called Reengineering Politics. The idea is that we can come up with rational solutions to challenging political problems, kind of like engineers do. The challenge to this logical approach is that we are highly polarized. It's impossible for polarized people to discuss problems in a way that solves those problems. When I'm not publishing videos on politics, I am coaching small business owners on how to succeed in their business. As businesses grow, the leader's decisions in that business affect more people and they involve greater amounts of money. These big decisions are stressful. Under stress, business owners don't think as clearly as they must to make their best decisions. As a core energy coach, I help my clients become aware of what energy level they are using to make their best decisions. Energy is simply a way of thinking, feeling, and acting. There are 7 levels of this energy. The 2 lowest levels of energy are catabolic. This means that they are easily accessible, but quite destructive. The remaining 5 levels are anabolic. These anabolic energy levels are much more productive, but to use them, you must be intentional with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. As fate would have it, politics and political discussions reside at the bottom 2 destructive catabolic energy levels. When we live at these bottom 2 levels, we feel depressed, hopeless, and angry. This is why many people avoid politics. I will quickly describe the 7 energy levels and explain what each level looks like in a political discussion. My hope is that while you see these levels, you make a conscious choice to have more productive political discussions. So if you pick higher energy levels, you may be surprised to learn that politics and political discussions can actually be uplifting instead of depressing. The first level is level 1. Now the name for this level is victim. It is the lowest energy level and it's 100% catabolic or destructive. Now, a victim believes that they're subject to an outside force. There is nothing that they can do to improve their situation as this force is in control of their lives. They have few options, they feel sad, and they feel helpless. Victim energy is the most common energy in political discourse. Politicians want to convince you that you're a victim and they're your hero. Republicans will paint entrepreneurs, wealthy people, and native-born people as victims of taxation or mass immigration. Democrats will paint ethnic minorities, unions, migrants, and LGBTQ adherents as victims of the majority. In order to be a victim, you must have a victimizer. Now, the victimizer in all cases is the other political party. Level 2 is conflict. This is the second lowest energy level, and it's still very destructive. A person exhibiting conflict energy is trying to win some contest at the expense of someone else. The core thought of conflict energy is, I win and you lose. Conflict energy is the second most common energy level in politics. After all, in a political campaign, there is only one winner. In our case, that winner will either represent the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Since our country is evenly split between Democrats and Republicans, this means that in our representative government, 50% of the country is a winner and 50% of the country is a loser. Billions of dollars are now poured into political campaigns to fuel this conflict energy. This is why politicians use the word fight when they want to get elected to a political office. The question that we must ask is, who are you fighting against? The answer to this question is the other side. And who is the other side? Well, it's the opposing political party. And if a politician says that they will fight for the elderly, does this mean that they're going to defeat the young? To a rational person attempting to solve political problems, fighting is the last resort, not the first. Level 3 is called responsibility or acceptance. Now, we rarely see political conversations or politicians reach this level 3. And if we did, it would look something like this. Joe Biden would stand at a podium and say, "You know, I was so eager to get us out of that economic malaise that we were in 2021 that we spent too much money, which caused the inflation that you're experiencing today." And Donald Trump would stand at a podium and say, "You know, I'm disheartened at what happened on January 6th. I was disappointed with the election outcome, and I felt I had been cheated. I should have been a strong voice in preventing the violence and destruction of the Capitol that day." Level 3 is an acknowledgement and an acceptance of responsibility that is very necessary for great leadership. It isn't seen in politics because Level 2 requires that you constantly fight and show no sign of weakness that can be used by your opponent. And now that litigation of politicians is commonplace, a politician would be a fool to feed litigators ammunition that could send them to jail. Level 4 is called compassion. Now, compassion means that you genuinely empathize with others who are going through hardship and you want to help them even if it means you will sacrifice. Level 4 is unheard of in our political discourse. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Don't bleeding heart liberals have compassion for others? Well, I can't know what's in someone's heart. However, the feigned compassion in politics is rarely the kind of compassion that is exhibited by level 4 energy. Political compassion involves taking from one group of people and giving to another group in an attempt to win an election. This is level 2 conflict, not compassion. If the politician donates money from their own bank account to help a group of people, that's level 4 compassion energy. Level 5 is opportunity energy, and it's where I try to get most of my business owner clients. The core thought at level 5 is win-win. This win-win energy could be so advantageous in politics. The Gaza-Israeli conflict would be solved. Trade barriers would come down. We would create a solution that allowed migrants to come to our country legally and quickly become part of our country and not negatively impact our citizenry. We would lower medical costs while providing greater availability of healthcare to all people. I published a book that illustrated a form of this win-win energy called Engineering Unity. In my book, I praise the values of the left and the right on every political issue that we currently disagree. I then offered a solution that I labeled a centrist solution that allowed both sides to win. My hope with this book was that we could see that we can shift from fighting at level 2 and raise our collective consciousness to level 5. Level 6 is called synergy. Now, the core thought of synergy is everyone wins. The best way to think about this level is that thoughts, feelings, and actions surpass boundaries. When I coach my business owner clients, I talk about synergy energy as considering the effects of your actions beyond the business transaction. For instance, environmental concerns or the impact on groups of people that are not engaged in the transaction. So in politics, synergy would be considering global impact and how these decisions in the United States affect other countries, the global environment, or the global economy. One such decision is climate change and global energy markets. Whether or not you subscribe to the idea that humans are changing the climate, it does matter how we deal with this decision on a global scale. If climate change is an impending threat and we don't deal with it, changes in the climate will impact individual countries differently. If climate change is a hoax, spending trillions of dollars for no benefit will also negatively impact global markets. Time borders are just as important as physical borders. We tend to be concerned about the present, and we fail to recognize how political decisions affect future generations. The Social Security system is a good example. The impetus for Social Security was a humane way to provide for elderly people who could no longer work. Sadly, the creators of this system failed to anticipate the cost of the system. The tax rate for this program has increased on a regular basis as government leaders discover they didn't plan well. The Social Security system is destined to become insolvent by 2036. Level 7 is called total awareness. For an individual, this is an ability to objectively view a situation and see all of the facets of that situation. There's no emotional reaction to events in the present, but an awareness of those events is objectively viewed from an outside observer. If a politician is at this level, they will never be elected to public office. Why? Well, because a level 7 individual is never a fighter. They see all sides of an issue and they refuse to pick a side because they know that picking a side is arbitrary and it's often immature. The core thought of level 7 is winning and losing don't matter. In fact, it wouldn't be unheard of if a level 7 doesn't participate in an election campaign at all. Why? Because the winner or loser is simply a score represented by the most popular person. That outcome has no bearing on what the best solutions are to chronic political problems. Until the electorate rises above level 2, they will always want a Democratic or Republican fighter. I have briefly summarized the 7 levels of energy, and I've tried to illustrate how these energy levels show up in political discourse. While this is good information, it's somewhat depressing because as politics stays at level 1 and 2, we can feel hopeless to elevate our political conversations to higher levels and thus make genuine progress in politics. If you've watched my videos, you may get used to me blaming the people and not the politicians. Politicians are a manifestation of us. If we want to fight, we elect fighters. If we want to unite, we elect uniters. Since the problem is us, I will focus my attention for the rest of this video on us. I'll give you a few ideas on how you can upgrade your political perspective. The first idea is to understand that people have genuinely good intentions. Whenever I hear a conspiracy theory, I wonder, what will the conspirators gain? The response to my innocent question is, well, they want to destroy the world. And I hear political partisans saying, well, the other side is pure evil. These statements are just not believable. Yes, there are people who do bad things. We can't ignore this. But people, generally speaking, want the best for themselves, their families, their communities, their country, and the world, in that order. This isn't evil, it is human. If a wealthy person doesn't want to pay excessive taxes, that's human, it's not evil. If a poor person wants a roof over their head that they can't afford, that's human, it's not evil. And if an immigrant wants to cross into our country illegally because the legal system is broken, that's human. It's not evil. By accepting that everyone is human and not evil, you can stop assigning evil motives to people who think about political issues differently than you. People with sizable egos believe that they are right and others are wrong. They may back up their ideas with experts and plenty of documentation. And if people believe they are right and others are wrong, they will not listen to the reason or logic of others. They will poke fun at others who have different ideas than they do. On my video channel, I offer the cause and effect of various political challenges. I then offer solutions. My research and solutions are ideas that may be partially right and may be partially wrong, but they must be tested through discussion and debate. The reason for my books and my videos is that I hope to elicit logical discussion that is void of political sniping. If we want sustainable solutions that represent level 5, 6, or 7, we must base those solutions on the truth. Now, to learn the truth, we must have reasonable discussion and debate. If you believe that climate change is a hoax, and the person approaches you with a comment like, well, it's hot today, and I hope Republicans get on board with green energy so that we can end climate change. If you disagree with this position, your initial inclination may be to say nothing, or to respond with, well, I think climate change stuff is just nonsense, and the climate's been changing on this planet Earth for millennia, and there's nothing that we can do to modify the climate. Now, both of these statements are level 2. If you believe the truth of this issue is not known, you will be more likely to engage in a conversation of curiosity instead of passivity or conflict. A response that you may have is, I wonder how we can know for sure if CO2 is causing climate change, or what solutions to this challenge would be most effective, or I think differently about this issue. I wonder why we have come to different conclusions. The other individual may want to continue the fight. Stick with curiosity instead of opposition, and you may be surprised how you both may get to a point that you understand that your belief is not based on as much fact and science as you had originally thought, and you understand that someone who opposes your viewpoint is not crazy or deluded. I have mentioned that political discussions are at level 1 or 2. This is why politics is depressing at the least and enraging at the most. In core energy coaching, we refer to an improvement in energy level as a shift. Now, if you shift your energy up, you will become more productive, more focused, and more passionate about whatever it is that you hope to achieve. A shift to level 3 is responsibility. Now, my method for doing this is looking at cause-effect of various political decisions without assigning blame to a political party or a political personality. For instance, the inflation that we are experiencing recently is a result of excessive spending, supply channel disruptions, and money printing. These actions were implemented by Republicans and Democrats alike. There's no need to blame one or the other. This allows the conversation to be on the topic rather than a politician. This is how we get to level 3 responsibility. Level 4 in politics is respecting others even though they think differently than you. Make an effort to see the human side of politics and how it's affecting all people. Political discussions tend to be one-sided. To shift from level 3 to level 4, you must put yourself in the place of the people who could be negatively affected by your opinions on political policy. It may be that the best political policy for the most people may not be the best political policy for you. If you've reached a level of maturity to believe this, you're ready to shift to level 5. Now, shifting from level 4 to level 5 is a natural progression. By empathizing with various groups of people and educating yourself on political topics, you actually understand the pros and cons of political policies from all viewpoints, and you can now formulate win-win solutions that help the most people. If we can get to level 5 in our political discourse, we won't worry about winning or losing elections, but about leveraging the opportunity that we've been given in our great country. We will replace debates with collaboration. Fighting can be replaced with tolerance, respect, compassion, and rational problem solving. Can you imagine a world where we actually look forward to political conversations because it gets our creative juices flowing? Well, I hope that you can, because I can, and that's why I spend time publishing videos on this channel. I want to thank you for visiting Reengineering Politics. I plan to continue posting videos on various political topics, so please stay tuned. And I'd love it if you like this video and you subscribe to the Reengineering Politics YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you return for more political insight that's neither left nor right.